you shouldn't, like in a natural condition of humanity, you shouldn't be able to go and get a bag of food that's a 1,500 calorie intake, right? For a burger and some fries and a soda. That's not normal. That's not natural, okay? You should have to work to eat 1,500 calories, okay?
It's killing millions of people, it's disabling millions of people. It's the biggest epidemic the world has ever seen.
I wouldn't want to have a child and then be gone.
Look at the pain in her face. So this is what I've been saying, right? When I was in high school, we used to talk about obesity. We'll get back to that.
Failed another diet.
I was made aware of the obesity epidemic in the early 90s when I was in high school. It was expressed as a national emergency and that we collectively needed to act. Since then, we've had massive government investment in education, school food programs, advertisement, etc. And to what end? Today, most people are obese. So we failed. Why? Because health and fitness are individual personal issues, not a collective one.
You eat to satisfy and feel good.
Is that Tess Holiday?
Everyone's still saying it's a simple formula of calories in, calories out, but I don't think it is.
Governments just see it as a problem of lazy people.
It's more than calories in and calories out. It's about what's in here, what's in your heart.
I'm Katrina. I was on The Biggest Loser in 2004.
Good for her. Way to be out there. Boom.
For the show myself, my husband put my name forward, but I thought, well, maybe this will be the last time that I have to try and lose weight and my life will be perfect.
Anytime I hear about a spouse or significant other pushing their partner to lose weight, even out of concern, it raises my hackles. My wife has lost half of her body weight and is in the best shape of her life. Not because her husband shamed her and pressured her into exercise, but because of decisions she made in her own time regarding her own health, fitness, and lifestyle. Finally, I am irrationally upset at the phrase, "My husband put my name forward," with regards to The Biggest Loser reality show. What an asshole.
So she was unsuccessful on this show. Maybe she was successful and then she gained it back.
Katrina, on day one of the competition, you weighed 131.1 kilos. Your current weight is
2.2 is the multiplier for pounds.
3 kilos.
To think about how fabulous I felt on finale.
So she was about 280,
Wish I could go
285 pounds when she started.
It was 40 plus kilos.
And she lost 90 pounds.
And I feel like I failed because I haven't been able to keep that off. After being on The Biggest Loser, my diet really didn't get out of control. The exercise didn't stop, and yet weight was coming back. It's like an old friend that, doesn't want to leave you.
Larry David called it the yo-yo. I've been on the yo-yo. I get it. I can really empathize.
What the fuck that means? She's a fucking yo-yo.
Yeah, she's a yo-yo.
Yeah, you don't know if that yo-yo's going down or fuck up.
All signs point to her yoing up. She ate this big dessert.
How people are looking at you or judging you. I thought about it and I thought, I'm not doing that much differently. There must be more to it.
There is more to it. It takes knowledge of self. In other words, personal experience through trial and error over a period with respect to how your body will react to certain regimens to reach your goal. What is that goal? Ketosis, full stop. To burn fat, you need to understand how to get to and maintain ketosis, sometimes called fat burning mode. This is where the body's fat reserves are readily released and consumed. If you're not in ketosis, you are not burning fat, regardless of your diet and exercise regime. Knowledge of thyself is key.
What we see is a feeling that obesity is their fault and that they're to blame. In fact, we as health professionals have actually led
It's arrogance. It's not the health professionals that led to the obesity epidemic. I strongly disagree. It's a lifestyle that we've adopted in our Western civilization.
They didn't feel it was their responsibility to actually approach it from a healthy perspective, because that doesn't make good television.
Well, you wanted to be on TV.
So over the last 4 or 5 years, I've just slowly gone back up again.
That is a body defense mechanism. The body has seen and perceived you as going through acute starvation. So it puts the brakes on your metabolism. It slows everything down to protect you so you don't die. But the problem there is that not only do you stop losing weight, but when you stop that intense program, the metabolic rate
That's the thing, you never stop.
You regain all that.
There is no stop.
are obese can have a perfect diet, can exercise regularly, and they stay the same weight.
I don't know where to go anymore. I feel like I'm just in a wilderness of what works and what doesn't work.
Your weight and how it's going to change throughout life is set in the first 1,000 days after conception. We've got no right, with our current knowledge, to blame anyone who has a weight problem. It's what happened to some extent in the genes they were given and how they were programmed for the first 1,000 days of life. That first 1,000 days is critical to what you're going to do, given that you're in our
Very
environment
true.
in Australia.
So these things are true?
We are in an environment that we call obesogenic. It's designed to make us obese, given that our biology was never meant to be in a land of plenty.
It is extremely difficult to lose weight, and you need something significant to break that cycle.
Losing weight ain't easy.
My name's Amy. I just turned 30, and for my 30th birthday, I purchased a vertical sleeve gastrectomy. A vertical sleeve gastrectomy is where they remove between 75 and 80% of your stomach.
My wife wanted this, but she didn't do it. I'll tell you the story.
I got this tattoo on my 30th birthday, and it's my farewell to all the things I loved. Because I know going forward I'm probably not going to be able to have them as much as I used to, but they're always going to be in my heart.
So look, I appreciate the sentiment. I used to joke that the story of Homer Simpson is my biography. That means I love donuts, among other things. 9 years ago, I told myself I need to lose 100 pounds. My reward was going to be a bag of marshmallows.
A marshmallow. Well, I'll be there. A marshmallow.
But no marshmallows until then. By the time I hit my goal, my priorities had changed, and I didn't even want nor had the bag of marshmallows. My point is, I'd have felt awfully stupid if I got a marshmallow tattoo 9 years ago. The bottom line is, to hit a lifetime goal such as losing 100 pounds, you need to change who you are. And who you are is not what you like or love to eat.
My dad.
Sorry to be cynical, but I'm questioning the wisdom of getting a tattoo prior to having a large amount of weight loss.
Morbidly obese, and I remember he was in hospital, I think, for 9 months when I was in year 6. After that, he was around for about another 2 years. And people say I'm a splitting image of him. So, yeah. As I was approaching 30, just thinking that I'd already lived half my life, I just wasn't ready to face that.
One, two, three.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Tess Holiday.
I'm a body positive activist who mainly does work in activism on Instagram.
Ready, set, go.
think to do what I do.
Could you imagine what Donald Trump would say if he was watching this right now?
I'm not eating Oreos anymore, you know that. But neither is Chris. You're not eating Oreos anymore. No more Oreos for either of us, Chris. Don't feel bad for either of us.
Being unapologetic about it is radical enough for a lot of people. Living in a larger body or a fat body is like being part of a marginalised group. Some of the comments are like, she seems like a huge attention whore. I don't give a shit what your weight is, but Jesus, at least buy tops that fucking fit. Kill it with fire.
Not nice comments.
When I was about 11, my parents suggested maybe going to a gym, but as much weight as I lost, I always seemed to gain it back. When that happened, I just found myself restricting like 6 hours a day, and I wasn't really eating. There was a few girls in my class who found out about my eating disorder and then would make jokes that I should throw up more or try harder.
I don't believe these stories.
Not because I wanted to die, but because I wanted it to stop. I wanted my brain to stop.
I believe that she didn't get the correct nutrition and the correct exercise for a period of time that she was doing it, but with sustained proper food and diet and exercise over a long period of time, she wouldn't be in that condition.
So look, I don't believe these stories from anyone when I hear that I did the work and it didn't work for me, so I quit. Look, you're a quitter, I get it, but you're still in the fight, and whether you believe it or not, you will have to lose the weight as your health and age catch up to you. This short-sightedness is catastrophic for society and for these people individually. I suspect that this short-sightedness is a function of our instant gratification culture, where delayed gratification is not emphasized.
I slowly came to terms with the fact that perhaps if I wanted to be happy and I wanted to have a fulfilling life, I would perhaps be a fat person. My life's not consumed with weight or numbers or calories anymore. I eat what I want when I want.
She's in denial. Her happiness is going to be short-lived because of the health complications she's inevitably going to suffer.
The bottom line is the vast majority of people I've seen promoting body positivity are young women that A, have been educated in the postmodern environment and are focused on critical theory. In this case, it's critical fat theory, and in this theory, these fat young women have lionized themselves as the new champions of the victimhood Olympics. B, these women are young enough not to have seen the negative health impacts of obesity in their health screenings, nor have they really begun to suffer the worst side effects of said obesity. So yeah, ignorance is bliss, and you can ignore calories for now. But this bliss comes at a dear price, because instead of monitoring and addressing these real health issues in real time, they've instead convinced themselves beyond all common sense to accelerate their attempted suicide for the sake of public virtue signaling. The fact that these people are promoting this in public is insidious, and it is why it is vital for people like myself and all others who've already done so to speak up against this destructive strain of Marxism.
While I'm completely supportive of them and their self-love, I don't feel like they're supporting a healthy image.
There's the balance between being proud of your weight, but there are the issues too that are we sending a message that it's okay to be obese? We know that being morbidly obese reduces your life expectancy by about 10 years.
Everyone has a right to make health choices.
More importantly than your life expectancy, your quality of life while you're living, whilst.
The idea that fatness is always bad is simply wrong. A person who's got some excessive fat and has a good diet, exercises regularly, has far less risk of disease than someone who's normal weight and has an unhealthy diet and in fact doesn't exercise.
That's called rationalizing people. We're not discussing thin people and their health problems. We will discuss them on another video, so quit deflecting from the topic.
This really bothers me. This person is rationalizing obesity by deflecting. Fatness is bad. Bad in the sense that it is unhealthy, lowers one's quality of life, and is a precursor to many preventable diseases. Basically, he is inflating the definition of fatness, which is commonly understood as obese, and redefining it as some excess fat for the sake of his analogy. He uses these verbal gymnastics to create an invalid analogy of two people about the same size except for a little excess body fat, and argues that the one with the healthy lifestyle will be healthier. No shit, Sherlock. This is a classic tactic used to deceive his audience. Even more despicable, his audience is likely vulnerable obese people looking for any snake oil to assuage their proverbial wounds. This man appears to be a shyster, but I will reserve judgment until a later date and follow up and call out if necessary.
The way she is, but like it's gonna mean sort of a fresh start for her health.
I'm nervous for her. I know this is a big deal, but I respect her for trying to make a change in her life. I know someone who's gone through this.
Stomach capacity about the size of a small banana. There is also a very strong chemical effect from the operation where the hunger hormones are reduced. And that's the great sort of secret weapon of the surgery.
When we look at lifestyle interventions, diet, exercise, 1 to 4% of weight loss is common. People who have bariatric surgery generally lose 20, 25 or 30% weight loss on average, and the vast majority will lose more than 10%.
I lost 1/3 of my weight.
Related diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, etc. We have this incredible inequity, and while it's the best treatment, it's just not utilised by the lower socioeconomic half of our community that really can't afford to have it.
Weight loss surgery is seen as the easy way out.
It would be an absolute disaster if there were en masse people having this surgery, I think. I understand that there are a ton of complications, and I just can't imagine just handing these surgeries out to anybody who wanted them. Like, there would have to be some sort of strong criteria. It's just my gut talking. I'm not saying I'm right about that.
Right out the gate, I think bariatric surgery should be covered by insurance under very specific circumstances. In other words, money should not be the sole determiner or disqualifier for who can get this life-changing surgery. With that said, bariatric surgery is risky and can have serious side effects, and it will not support sustained weight loss without strict dietary discipline. Therefore, if insurance was to cover this, there would have to be a very strict and burdensome criteria. This would include a significant minimum amount of weight lost to be kept off for an extended period of time, let's say for a year. Furthermore, this would support sober second self-reflection on the topic and help solidify the decision. This would also discourage the pretenders and protect them and society from the brutal consequences of having this surgery irresponsibly. Unfortunately, it is human nature not to care properly for something that you've not paid or worked for. Anyone with children can attest to this. Bariatric surgery is serious business for serious people who are serious about weight loss. Pardon the pun, but I feel strongly that you must have some skin in the game if you are looking for insurance or public funds to go towards this surgery.
Loss is a bonus.
You have to have some skin in the game, I think. Pardon the pun.
Hiya.
Come on in.
Oh, that brings back some memories, doesn't it? Shit.
Well, you were lucky enough to become a contestant to enter the house. Don't they look amazing? Well done, you guys.
You just hear that and you sort of go, oh, well, we're failures again. There's not one person out of all 14 of us?
No, not one.
Not one person that is maintaining it. You would think to look at me that
My wife and I, we're maintaining.
Drinking soft drinks.
The people who love us, that know exactly how hard it's been for us. And the people who are just judging us because they can, I don't really care about what they think.
The government are saying, we've got an obesity epidemic, but they don't do anything. They're not doing anything about it.
Unless we can...
No, they've tried to do something about it for my whole entire life. We've tried to do something about it, and it has just gotten worse and worse and worse. That's what my whole point is that when I was in high school, this information was known already. That would have been in the early 90s and late 80s, early 90s. And this was stuff that they were teaching us, and they were telling us that there was an obesity epidemic and that we needed to do something about it. And I was putting on weight, you know, in high school and going into my young adulthood. And, you know, so that news was an unknown, and the government, through education and programs and you name it, has attempted to intervene on society's behalf. And look at the results of the intervention from the public, you know, by the government. It has exasperated to the point where I believe that the majority of people now are clinically obese in the United States and probably back home in Canada. And so what does that say to me? Not the whole topic of health and fitness and fatness aside, there is no intervention from the government that is going to help society get into better shape. Let's just put it that way, for lack of a more eloquent way to phrase that. The bottom line is, and I'm gonna, you know, finish filming here, and I'm gonna go and get my thoughts together on this topic here of the video that we just saw. But in the end, the reason so many people are overweight, including myself when I was, is because the access to high calorie food is not normal, right? Like, you shouldn't, like in a natural condition of humanity, you shouldn't be able to go and get a bag of food that's a 1,500 calorie intake, right? For a burger and some fries and a soda. That's not normal. That's not natural, okay? You should have to work to eat 1,500 calories, okay? That's like, you know, a whole bunch of apples and a whole bunch of chicken and a couple cups of rice and a whole bunch of stuff to get to that 1,500 calories, which you're just gonna get in one meal at McDonald's, or pick your favorite place to go. And then additionally, you're gonna be hungry in 45 minutes to an hour after eating that, because not only did you have a high caloric intake, but you really received very little in the form of actual nutrition for your body. So your body again is gonna be craving more food, and that is probably the main culprit in our society today of the obesity epidemic, is the access to high calorie food and the in the high pace world where we've got everybody's got a job at home, mom and dad, right? 2-parent working homes, and the kids are working. People don't have time to do a proper food prep and things of that nature. And that's where we are. So these are the unintended consequences of progress, and progress is good, but there are always unintended consequences of progress, and now we need to find a way to mitigate those. Okay, so we'll see what else I have to say when I follow up. Okay. Hi, this is Johnny Fever. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, hit notifications, and follow at your boy on social media. Well, I would like to first of all say thank you to my special guest stars, Boba the Golden Doodle, Kofi the Black Standard Poodle, and Laserbeak, my Senegal parrot that you saw in my outtakes. You know what? When I sat down and filmed this, I had no idea what to expect. I just decided on a whim to record my reaction to this mini documentary. I had no idea what I was going to do in editing, and this is what you got. It's completely uncut. I put every scrap of reaction video into this film and, you know, gave a little commentary on the side. So I hope you all liked it. I'm going to approach this topic again, maybe in a slightly different format, but this is my first stab at it. I really liked the video. I hope you do too. Follow.